Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayara Ramadhava Kunja Vihari Jayara Ramadhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahansa Virakacharya Astuta Shata Srimad His Divine Grace Bhai Chanavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON IBBT Founder Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Srila Prabhupada Ji Ki Maha Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Gaur Paramanande All Glorious Assembly Devotees All Glorious Assembly Devotees All Glorious Assembly Devotees All Glorious to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. A reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 11, Verse 10. The title of chapter is Jada Bharata Instructis King Rahogana. Okay, repeat after me. Ganda Kriti Sparsha Rasa Shrivamsi Visarga Rati Arti Abhijalpa Shilpa Ekadasham Swikaranam Mamiti Shayam Aham Dwadasham Eka Ahu. Okay, I will chant the verse. Gandhakriti Sparsharasa Shrivansi Visarga Rati Arti Abhijalpa Shilpaha Ekadasham Swikaranam Mameti Shayamaham Dwadashameka Ahu. Word by word. Okay, word by word. Gandha, smell. Akriti, form. Sparsha, touch. Rasa, taste. Shrivansi, and sound. Visarga, evacuating. Rati, sexual intercourse. Arti, movement. Abhijalpa, speaking. Shilpaha, grasping or releasing. Ekadasham, 11th. Swikaranam, accept us. Mama, mother. No, mine. Iti, thus. Shayang, this body. Aham, I. Dwadashang, 12. Eke, some. Ahuhu, have said. The translation from Sanskrit to English. Sound, touch, form, taste, and smell are the objects of 5 knowledge acquiring senses. Knowledge by Gyanendriyas. Speech, touch, movement, evacuate, and sexual intercourse are the objects of the working senses. Knowledge like karmendriyas, the legs, the hands, the tongue, and the genitals. Besides this, there is another conception by which one thinks, this is my body, this is my society, this is my family, this is my nation, this is my ahankara, and so forth. The 11th function of the mind is called the false ego. According to some philosophers, this is the 12th function, and its field of activity is the body. Okay, let's go repeat together. Sound, touch, form, taste, and smell.
Sound, touch, form, taste, and smell
are the objects of the 5 knowledge acquiring senses. Speech, touch, movement, evacuation, and sexual intercourse are the objects of the working senses.
Speech, touch, movement, evacuation, and sexual intercourse are the objects of the working senses.
Besides this, there is another conception by which one thinks, this is my body, this is my society, this is my family, this is my nation.
Besides this, there is another conception by which one thinks, this is my body, this is my society, this is my family, this is my nation, and so forth.
Yeah, this is my false ego. This 11th function of the mind is called the false ego.
This 11th function of that mind is called the false ego.
According to some philosophers, this is the 12th function, and its field of activity is the body.
According to some philosophers, this is the 12th function, and its field of activity is the body.
Yeah, Krishna called in Bhagavad Gita the field of activities called by Kshetra. And the soul is Kshetragya, that knower of the field, the Kshetragya. Okay. Purport by His Divine Grace, by Chanavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. There are different objects for the 11 eatings. Through the nose we call smell, by the eyes we can see, by the ears we can hear, and in this way we gather knowledge. Okay, this is the knowledge. This is known by Tanmatra. This is the great point of the philosophy of the mind. Because where are the images? Where are formed these images? Because the brain is too much wet and have electricity. So where are formed these images? In the brain. Because the neuroscience explain that the brain is mind is the same thing, no difference. So where are these images when I think in a red apple, or when I think in a pink elephant? In the brain, in the where in the silver mass is the brain? No, in the mind. Similar, there are the karmendriyas, the working sense, the hands, legs, genitals, rectum, mouth, and so forth. When the false ego expands, it makes one thing: this is my body, this is my family, this is my society, this is my country, etc. Om Gyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmiritanjana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistan Staptan Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadama Hyanda Datsva Padantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Paristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirveshesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha kalpatarvescha kripasindhubhya vacha patidanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jai Dvaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Om Tat Sat. So we will start with a translation by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur to the same verse. Open quote. The 11 objects are fragrance, form, touch, taste, and sound, evacuating, sexual intercourse, motion, speaking and grasping, and possessiveness. Yes, this is a very interesting name to false ego, ahankara. I'm the possessiveness, this is my possessiveness of objects. Some say the 12th object is the body identified as I by the ahankara. Purport of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, a set of purport. This verse describes the objects. First, the 5 tanmatras, starting with fragrance, are described in relation to the knowledge sense, starting with the nose. Akrit means form. The actions starting with evacuation are the objects of the 5 action senses. This makes 10. Arti means going. The 11th item is the body, what is accepted, swikaranam, because of ahankara's twofold nature of mind and I. Some acharyas say that the 11th object is possessiveness of things like a house. The 12th object is the identification with the body for the ahankara. So we can start with a problematic with a question. So here in this chapter, the sage Jadabharata is making an analytical study of the mind. The basic is Sankhya philosophy. Let us see from the very beginning. Where is the beginning of this discussion, this conversation? So we go to the previous chapter, chapter 10, verse 24, where Jadabharata talking with Maharaj Rahugana, but in the previous verse, Rahugana Maharaj talking, and now this chapter 11, Jadabharata answer the questions put by Rahugana Maharaj. I was puffed up with false prestige due to possessing the body of a king. This is Rahugana Maharaj talking. For this, I have certainly become an offender Jadabharata. Therefore, I pray that you kindly glance at me with your causeless mercy. If you do so, I can be relieved from sinful activities brought about by insulting you. And this humble attitude, remember the perfect position that a future disciple assume the position of disciple. Yes, this humble and very submissive position. So approach it to another that have more knowledge to achieve knowledge. This remember the same position of Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 7, Karpanya doshopahat swabhava. Arjuna said, in this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now, I am your disciple, and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Yes, same position. Yes, this is the universal, is the classic position to acquire knowledge. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashena sevaya. So we need the approach of a spiritual master, bona fide, and with service attitude, and with humble and submissive, we need to make questions. So it's the classical position to acquire knowledge. In the verse 1 of this chapter, Jadabharata spoken. My dear king, although you are not at all experienced, yes, chastise him, you are trying to speak like a very experienced man. It's the same thing that in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. Consequently, you cannot be considered an experienced person. An experienced person does not speak the way you are speaking about the relationship between a master and a servant, or about material pains and pleasures. So this was the first identification of Jadabharata. Jadabharata identified the wrong in the Rahugana's king consciousness, and he appointed that King Rahugana speak in duality, master and disciple, material pains and pleasures. So he see the reality in duality. So for the peoples that are seeing the world in duality, the spiritual knowledge not is totally accessible. The karma kanda portion is accessible for the peoples are in duality, in illusion in this material world. This was verse 1, spoke by Jadabharata. Like Krishna did in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, verse 11, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. Yes, life and death, these are dualities also. And Arjuna was speaking in duality because he have a lot gratitude, great thanks and compassion by Dronacharya, his army guru, yes, this weapons guru, the Bhishmadeva, the grandfather. But the compassion is a very, very important feeling, important sentiment. But Arjuna was applied this sentiment that is a function of mind, feeling, willing, and thinking. He was put in the body of Drona, in the body of Bhishma. And this is the great problem of the conditioned souls. Yeah, we love, we put our mind in material things. With this, we stay in illusion, seen in duality. The body of my spiritual master, the body of Drona, the body of Bhishma. So by this compassion, Lord Sri Krishna chastised very hard, very shape the Arjuna. Life and death, master and servant, material pains and pleasures are dualities. Oh, I'm happy you cannot see the PowerPoints. Okay, we have a gorilla asking here, dualities. And where do these dualities reside? Are they real? So, a devout answer. The Dvandva Moha Nirmukta. This is a line of verse 28, chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita. Those whose sinful actions are completely eradicated are free from the dualities of delusion. So, because of the sinful activities, the influence of rajas and tamas, the darkness, we see in duality, and these dualities are illusion, because the reality is one. What is the reality? What is the reality? The reality is Krishna. We are the part and parcel of Lord Sri Krishna. Mama Ivanshu Jivaloke, Jiva Mukta. Mama Ivanshu Jivaloke, Jiva Mukta. I forget the. But the spiritual soul is the part and parcel of Lord Sri Krishna. But we have the individual consciousness, yes. Krishna is the supreme and we are the servant of Sri Krishna. This is a very important distinction, but in a certain level only exists Krishna. Krishna is all. But when you see in duality, this means that you are with the material vision, the material world. Dualities arise in the multi-branch mind only. Keep verse 2 of this chapter. My dear king talks of the relationship between the master and servant. The king and the subject and so forth are simply talks about material activities. People interested in material activities which are expounded in the Vedas. Where are the material activities are expounded in the Vedas? In the Karma Kanda section. Karma Kanda section are the hymn Vedics. And these hymns are glorification to Chandra, Surya, Indra, Brahma, Shiva, to acquire material benefits. So, for that peoples that are eluded by the dualities, the Karma Kanda session, the Karma Kanda portion, is the portion for these materialistic peoples. In the Vedas are intent on performing material sacrifice. So with these Vedic hymns, we can do the sacrifice, the Agnihotras, the Yagyas to Chandra, Surya, and another demigods, and placing faith in their material activities. Continues verse 3, spoken by Jadabharata. When one realizes the dualities of material world is like a dream, the Vedas, although an excellent source, are insufficient to bring about direct knowledge of the truth. Especially in here are speaking about the Karma Kanda sessions as the in Vedics that are in Rig Veda and another Shruti Vedas. Krishna explained the same thing in Bhagavad Gita, verse 45, chapter 2. The Vedas, the Vedic hymns, deal mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature. So, what is the goal? What is the main subject in the in Vedics, in the Karma Kanda session? The goal is the Swargaloka. So you do many sacrifices like Ashwamedha Yaga and many another sacrifices to satisfy the demigods, and you go to promote it to the Swargaloka. This is the goal, this is the end and achieve. Or Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes, especially Rajas and Tamas, to this, or Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes. How can one become free from the illusory dualities of this world? By controlling the mind and senses, one awakens from the material dream. Therefore, the next point to be developed by Jadabharata will be the mind as explained by Sankhya philosophy. So, this question of liberated soul and conditioned soul are in the mind. If we control the mind and senses, abandon, renunciate this material world, these senses of objects, we are in the liberated condition. Yes, because the spiritual soul don't have a relationship with the material world, and the fluid, the enjoy of these senses of object. But when the spiritual soul keeping the hope of be happiness, achieve happiness in this material world, or Swargaloka, that is material world also, the conditional life continues. But observe, this is a mind condition. If the mind are attached to Krishna, is a liberated condition. But if the mind are attached to material things, this is conditioned, this is the material condition. Therefore, the next point to be developed by Jadabharata will be the mind, because the mind is the focus of process of yoga. Yoga is a process, is a method, is a universal process of connect with God. Yoga, huge, connecting. We are unconnected with God, and this connection or unconnection happens in the mind. Yes, the mind is the focus of the process of yoga, and the mind depends the condition liberated or the conditioned condition of the spiritual soul. But the spiritual soul is totally pure, never have contact with this material world. But by the mind, the soul identify with the body and act like a body. I am the man, I am women, white, black, Swiss, Brazilian, and all these designations are from the body. Don't send respect to the spiritual soul. The spiritual soul have one position, one function, one moral attitude of the soul. That is Jivera Swarupahai, Krishnera Nityadas. This is the acting of the soul. I am an eternal servant of Sri Krishna. So Jadabharata says in the verse 4, as long as the mind of the living entity is contaminated by the three modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, his mind is exactly like an independent, uncontrolled elephant. Crazy. Yeah, this is a uncontrolled elephant. Uncontrolled, yes, uncontrolled. It's a crazy elephant. Hasty. Yes, this is the condition of a mind enemy. Verse 5. Because the mind is absorbed in desires for pious and impious activities, it is naturally subject to the transformations of lust and anger. This is very interesting because lust and anger not are functions, not do part of the soul. is a cover, is a contamination. Like the water is clear, but if you put the earth, you spray the earth on the water, what is the color of water? Brown. But the brown is the color of water? No, but the water are contaminated by earth. The same thing, our consciousness is pure. Krishna consciousness and consciousness pure is the same thing, is synonymous. But by the influence of the modes, our conscience stay contaminated. So anger is a contamination, lust is a contamination. So this is very interesting. When you stay angry with a people, and you have the desire to punch him or kick him. So many peoples enjoy of this desire, of these feelings. Yes, I want to smash your face. And what is the fuel of this feeling? The fuel, what they move this feeling is Rajaguna. Or when this is very universal, because the three modes is universal. When you see the opposite sex and you feel the fever, this fever that we feeling, the fuel is Rajaguna. Yes, so we have this fever, and the enjoy of this, we are enjoy of the passion mode, the Rajaguna. So in this way, the gunas conduced us, the conditioned soul, like puppets. Yes, like puppets. Because what is the original feeling of our consciousness, or what is the original feeling, the motion of the spiritual soul? I am a servant of Krishna. I am a very humble, tiny servant of Krishna. I want to serve Krishna. I want to give pleasure to Krishna. I want to do something for Krishna, for the Krishna's devotees. These are the original feelings of the soul. These are the feelings of the pure consciousness. Come back. In this way, it becomes attracted to material sense enjoyment. Yes, the spiritual soul, the conditional soul, the mind covered by rajas and tamas, enjoy this influence of rajas and tamas. Verse 6, next verse. The materialistic mind covering the living entity soul carries it to different species of life. Yes, the problem is if you feel and enjoy of the passion mode, you will achieve a next body in the same vibration. And this is a Krishna's mercy. Yes, like, this spiritual soul, this is my son, like of Rajaguna. Okay, I will give a proper body in symphony of Rajaguna or Tamaguna for them. If they like of this, if they want this, okay, take this proper body for your explorations in the material world. The materialistic mind covers the living entity souls, carries it to different species of life. This is called the continued material existence. Verse 7, the mind makes the living entity within this material world wander through different species of life. And thus the living entity experiences mundane affairs in different forms as a human being, demigod, fat person, skinny person, and so forth. But this is only the vehicles, the cars, yantarudani maya, yeah. A vehicle made by Maya, made by material energy, and we are sit on this chair of this vehicle. Okay, mind is the cause of bondage and liberation. When the living entity's mind becomes absorbed in the sense gratification of the material world, it brings about his conditioned life and suffering within the material situation. Yes, the problem that in the moment that I want to give a punch in the face of this person, I hate this person. Yes, you enjoy of this feeling. But what happens if you punch the face another person? In the pretzel, you have only problems. Yes, you achieve an enemy. You can be to the jail. The people's understand the problems. You enjoy the sensation, but the consequences, the reactions in the material world only have bad reactions. Yes, the people that like of enjoy of food. Yes, food is very tasty, and I want to enjoy this food. This is the motivated by the passion. But if you eat a lot, what happens? Bad digestion and many problems. Yes, we enjoy the conditional soul enjoy of the influence the gunas, but the reaction that came is suffering. And if you cultivate this attachment to the modes, to the gunas, certainly you will have another material body to continue these activities. If you're not cut, if you're not renunciation this material world, certainly because of the gunas, the relationship with the gunas will achieve another body made by gunas, not a spiritual body made by Satchit Ananda. However, when the mind becomes unattached to material enjoyment for these feelings, it becomes the cause of liberation. When the flame in a lamp burns the wick improperly, the lamp is blackened. But when the lamp is filled with ghee and is burning properly, there is bright illumination. Similarly, when the mind is absorbed in material sense gratification, it causes suffering. And when detached from material sense gratification, it brings about the original brightness of Krishna consciousness. A bit of traditional Sankhya philosophy in the Vedas. There are 5 working senses, karmendriyas, and 5 knowledge-acquired senses, jnanendriyas. Indriyas, indriya means senses, jnana means knowledge, jnanendriyas. And this is very important to, inside of the body, to spiritual soul move in this material world, as the sense of the directions by knowledge. There is also the false ego. In this way, there are 11 items for the mind's functions. O hero, the objects of the sense, such as sound and touch, the organic activities, such as evacuation, because it's only a function of the body, yes? We not acquire knowledge by evacuation, make a peace, and these things, yes? And the different types of bodies. Society, friendships, and personality are considered by learned scholars the fields of activity, the functions of the mind. It's interesting because a really spiritual master, a really person that have knowledge, never speak your own knowledge. I made this knowledge. I understand. No. Even in the Western philosophy, we go to the previous philosopher, or in the Vedic, we go to the acharyas, as the previous masters, the Guru Parampara, because this is the natural line of the knowledge. Nobody discover nothing alone. We are dependent of the merciful of the previous acharyas, and this Jai Shri Ganata Shibadeva Shrimati Subhadra Maharani Shri Guranitai. And the mercy of the previous acharyas begin in Krishna. Krishna is the Ekarishi. Krishna is the original spiritual master. So the natural way to connect to Krishna is the Guru Parampara by the previous acharyas. That was the Jadabharata are made here, yes. Quote the previous acharyas. Sound, touch, form, taste, and smell are the objects of the 5 knowledge acquiring senses. Speech, touch, movement, evacuation, and sexual intercourse are the objects of the working senses. Besides this, there is another conception by which one thinks. This is my body, this is my society, this is my family, this is my nation, and so forth. This 11th function of the mind is called false ego. According to some philosophers, this is the 12th function, and its field of activity is the body. So this was the today's verse. And the authoritative view of the sages. This is very interesting because in the Vedas, one philosopher, one acharya explained the Prakriti have 24 elements. But in same Shastra, another Rishi can speak that the material nature have 28 elements, and another explain that have 32 elements. So Uddhava asked by this about this to Krishna in the Uddhava Gita in 11th canto, and this is the answer of Sri Krishna is very interesting. Uddhava inquired, "My dear Lord, all Master of the universe, how many different elements of creation have been enumerated by the great sages? I have heard you personally describe a total of 280. God, the Jiva soul, the Mahatattva, false ego, the 5 gross elements, the 10 senses, the mind, the 5 subtle objects of perception, and the 3 modes of nature." That is more or less this that Krishna explained in Bhagavad Gita. But some authorities say that there are 26 elements, while others cite 25 or else 7, 9, 6, 4, or 11. And even others say that there are 17, 16, or 13. What did each of these sages have in mind when he calculated the creative elements in such different ways? Also, Supreme Eternal kindly explain this to me. So this is verse 1 and 3, chapter 22 of 11th canto. Good. I not put the answer, but the answer is Krishna explained that he accepted all these different views because these are different perspectives. Not one is wrong, is another is correct. Because the different angles of vision, Krishna accepted these visions by the bona fide sages, the authentic sages. It's like a group of blindness that go to elephant. One touch, the elephant is like a column. And the elephant is, yes, because our vision is limited. We can see a portion of the reality. Krishna is the people that can see everything, all. And because this, Krishna understands that there are different perspectives of different sages, and he accepted authentic, this accepted like correct. Srila Prabhupada aqui, Maha Shrimad Bhagavatam aqui. Do you want to make a comment, Prabhu? Que Maya. Mana. Do you know that in Portuguese the mana is the word in Sanskrit. Mana means daughter in Portuguese. My daughter, no, sister. Sister, yeah. Because daughter is sister is yes. The daughter of my father, yes, my sister. So mana, my mana in Portuguese is sister, yes, my sister, my mind, my mana.
So this mind produces, and we have heard them many times now, produces the next life.
Yes, the next body. The life continues.
Yes, so if the mind is Krishna conscious, we produce a body of spiritual world. If the mind is material conscious, then we produce material body in the gunas.
Yes.
So this mind must be very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And surrendering of the mind is done in different ways. And you say in your lecture that is the focus also of the yoga.
Yeah, spiritual activities, Krishna consciousness activities.
So in some other philosophies, they don't take the mind very serious. The idea is
What kind of philosophy?
it's pretty much alright, I guess. They focus on the perception, on the soul who is the perceiving, who is the experiencer, the soul who is the experiencer. Like we say that the soul is experiencing all of this, and they don't take very seriously the mind. The mind is, the more you ignore it, the better is your situation. Because the mind is only talking nonsense. Day and night. It just talks.
Yeah.
It just talks nonsense. The more you just leave it alone, you just don't listen to it, you just ignore it. So I wonder what that, and then suddenly you come to the conclusion, okay, the soul prevails after a while. After a while, the observer, the consciousness prevails, and the mind is dumbed down, basically. So I wonder what that consequence will be if you kind of Krishna consciousness, we engage the mind in devotional service. That's the main thing. Everything should be Krishna consciousness. The mind has to be activated and fully engaged in Krishna consciousness. Then it will produce the spiritual world. But if you ignore the mind, and then you actually become conscious, you become the seer, because I am the soul. I am servant of Krishna also. I wasn't being only on the soul.
This is interesting.
So this is what will happen then?
Okay. So Rupa Goswami explained in the Bhakti Rashamrita Sindha Tashi Krishna Namadina Bhaved Garhan Indriyahi. So the mind are covered by the gunas, and because of this we cannot have access, contact with the name, form, guna, rupa, nama, lila of Sri Krishna. one one very nice example is have some time that you remember of a position of your Siddha Deha in the spirit world, of your relationship with Krishna in the spirit world. The major of peoples will explain, no, I never have a moment that I remember of the Goloka Vrindavana, of my relationship of Krishna, and my Siddha Deha, my spiritual body in the spiritual world. So we don't have access to this in this moment because the mind are covered, because the mind don't have access to this now. The mind have access this when we achieve the platform of Vasudeva Sattva, Shuddha Sattva, Krishna Sattva, the pure goodness. So what is the purpose of the Vedas, of the Bhakti Shastras, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, to do for the mind? We ignorate the mind is a solution. This is not recommended. The recommendation is Atashi Krishna Namadi Nabhaved Grahan Indrahi Sevam Mukhi Hijivado Swayam Eva Spiritadaha. So it's impossible you ignorance the mind. It's like if you have a child and the child starts screaming, running, broken things. It's impossible to ignore this. So the mind needs the proper function, the proper activities. And with the proper activities of the mind, the Rishikena Rishikesha, the mind will purify. So the mind not can be ignored. The mind needs to be purified. And the process to purify the mind is the real activity of the mind, and the real activity of the mind is engaged in the devotional service. Rishikesha, Rishikesha. The mind flows to Krishna like a river flows to the ocean. So, in this way, the mind will experience real pleasure, real happiness, that is ananda in devotional service. And after this, after total purified, total abandoned, total clean of the influence of rajas and tamas, the mind acquire your proper function, that is serve Lord Shri Krishna. This is the process of yoga, the process of bhakti yoga. Not is an imposition, not is a danger of ignoring the mind. This is the this is the real function of the mind, serve Lord Shri Krishna. And after, with the purification, according Canto 4 of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the spiritual things are revealed for the mind. Yes, our spiritual body, Lord Shri Krishna, and the relationship that we have eternally with Lord Shri Krishna. But at this moment is a long, long journey. And this journey basically consists in purify the mind, yes. It's very dangerous, you ignore the mind. Does that make sense? Welcome. Okay, time is over. Maha Granta Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.